I just love boys that I love boys that they make it obvious when they actually really like you. Like, I'm over the games. Just tell me you love me and you want to marry me. And we can have I don't know if I want kids, but we can get married. I don't know if I want marriage either. But we can be together and buy a house and get a puppy. Perfect.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll discuss modern women versus traditional wives. We'll also watch a video featuring a feminist claiming that men want to steal the success of women when they're successful entrepreneurs. We invite you to smash that like button. Let's support the movement. Subscribe to the channel. That's the only contribution we ask of you, man. Add your grain of sand to the movement. Leave your experience in the comments for any man who may need it. Without further ado, let's begin.
It's definitely a hot take, but I don't think relationships should be equal. Speaking in general, men and women have different strengths, and that's why partnerships work. I really don't think that relationships should be equal. I don't think I should be working and he should be working and we should be making the same amount of money and doing the same chores, and I don't think that works. And I'm definitely not saying don't work and be submissive to your partner. That's not it at all. Just focus on your strengths. My boyfriend takes care of, he's a manly man in a sense, takes care of things, happy to do it. I'm a total mama at heart. I love making sure that people that I love are taken care of and things go smoothly for them. And that's not saying that things aren't going on in my life. I still do my own shit and also take care of people. I also think it's really important to let a man be a man. If he wants to pay for something or he wants to do something, let him, okay? Just let him. It fuels his ego. And it's really not to say that you can't do it. It's just let a man be a man.
Absolutely. A man has to be a man, but nowadays society wants to forbid that. It wants men to become effeminate. That's why you hear so much talk about connect with your femininity, or become an ally, or a simp, all a bunch of Winnie the Pooh. But the ironic part is, when they turn you into the nice guy, that simp who does everything for her, she cheats on you or leaves you for a Chad, a man more masculine than you, the one they always said you shouldn't be. It's like their equality speech they keep announcing every moment, but it's equality with nuances, of course, because equality doesn't apply to dating, to your money when you earn it, or to household expenses. It only applies to house cleaning. But where they really love it is in the 50/50th divorce split. Oh, they love that one. That's why I'll say it loud and clear. In a household, there can't be two bosses. There always has to be one above and one below. It's not submission, it's respect. The boss guides the home, sets the goals, and takes care of it, while the second one takes care of the first, organizes the home, the children who are beneath the other two. This worked for years, but the modern woman hates this. Not the married ones, of course. It's the ones who've never had a husband who say this is oppression.
We're talking about trad wives again today, and oh my God, do I have a story for you. TikTok ruined my husband of 12 years. Now he wants a trad wife, and we're getting divorced. I'm going to go through and summarize the article, but basically that they got married, they were never a traditional couple, they both worked, they both had the same hours at work, and all of a sudden he started watching trad wife content and idolizing a specific content creator and started making mean, nasty comparative comments to her and talking about how now he wants a submissive trad wife. Even though she said she never wanted to be a homemaker or a stay-at-home mom, and they had been living 12 years of their marriage with a very, very equal dynamic, and all of a sudden he becomes verbally abusive. He says he wants a submissive wife, that he deserves better, and yada, yada, yada. He ends up contacting other women, having emotional affairs, and now they're getting divorced, quote unquote, because he deserves better. Now, as someone who does have a semi-50s aesthetic and is a stay-at-home mom, I often get lumped into this idea of being a trad wife. But I want to start off by saying there's nothing wrong with having traditional gender roles as long as that's something as the woman you want to participate in and you feel safe and supported in doing so. Same thing with dressing modestly. I don't think there's a problem with a woman choosing to dress modestly or a woman choosing to stay home with her children because that's how she feels the most fulfilled. I think the problem comes in when that's the type of woman a man is searching for, because usually they're doing that to search for somebody who they can be dominant over. And trad wife content can kind of lean into the fantasies of men like this, these men who are wishing to have this submissive, dominant role within their marriages. And what you see online absolutely has an element of fantasy and cosplay that gets lost in the social media literacy of some of these viewers. That is one of the reasons I take a lot of issue with trad wife creators on TikTok who talk about this being the idealized and natural role of a woman. Because although that might be right for you, making that a broad generalized statement can do some real harm to actual women and actual marriages, like in that article.
This is a fallacy. When a man starts watching content about traditional wives, especially if he's married, and begins to complain to his wife, it simply means there were underlying issues in that relationship that the man had been enduring. When he communicated them to his wife, she just swept them under the rug, forgot about them, until one day the man exploded. As a man, you don't want to dominate, but you do want better treatment. When you see a woman who cooks for you, shows affection, takes care of the home and children, yet still affectionate towards you, dresses elegantly, and doesn't have a dead bedroom, tell me what man wouldn't be attracted to that. As I said, there can't be two men in one house. That woman had her dream relationship, but did she ever think if her husband did too? He was probably the typical modern man, who has to work, pay the bills, also do half of all the chores, besides taking care of the kids, receiving a woman who comes from work, doesn't appreciate him at all, who only does her part, who surely never ate a hot meal because if both are working, who cooks? And surely, she arrived tired, and even if he did the chores, she couldn't have intimacy because she wanted to sleep to go to work tomorrow. When you see it like that, I assure you she regrets not leaving earlier, sacrificing 12 years of her life with that woman.
I'm here to tell you why that whole trad wife trend is absolute bullcrap. I just got off the phone with a friend of mine who has been married for about 15 years now. Before she got married, she got a master's degree in education and a law degree. She met her husband in law school. He wanted a traditional wife. She did not take the bar, and instead they got married. He took the bar. He passed the bar, he became a lawyer, and she became a full-time housewife and later a mom. Times 5. They have 5 children. Okay, fast forward 15 years, where he has been cheating on her for years. She finally caught him red-handed. She has enough confidence and determination to say, I want a divorce, I'm done. He's walking away with a $300,000+ job that he got, by the way, from one of her mom friends in a mom group. Let's just put that aside. She has nothing. She has 2 advanced degrees, 0 experience. So are they even worthwhile? Are they even worth anything? She has nothing to show for it. And in the last 15 years, what has changed in law and in education? Probably quite a bit. So she is stuck at this crossroads of feeling like she has nothing. And before you say alimony, he is trying to screw her out of everything he possibly can. She cannot keep the house, even though she has primary custody of the children. She can't afford it. She has no job. Absolutely no job right now. And even if she did, there are 5 children. So between drop-offs and pickups at 4 different schools, she has about 3 hours in the daytime when she is not tending to children. So to any woman who is considering that the trad wife lifestyle might be it for you, I encourage you to think about this story. Remember it. And just remember that you as a woman need to have something for yourself. If anything, just for yourself, because you absolutely never know what can happen in life, whether it be divorce, whether it be cheating, whether it be the passing away of your spouse. You have to take care of yourself and put yourself first. You can still love and support your husband and be an incredible wife who takes care of your man, but take care of yourself first.
The advice of a divorced woman who only thinks about individualism. This woman had bad luck, but she's no different from the hundreds of men who have it. In 15 years, she never had time for at least a part-time job. I doubt it. Besides, they'll tell me she left empty-handed. If a woman can take a lot with 1 child, imagine with 5. I'm sure she'll get half of the savings, half of all the assets. Also, if he cheated and she found out, she has evidence to show. I agree she shouldn't receive alimony because I assure you, with 5 children, she'll receive a good amount for child support. So, I don't buy into the story that she's the victim here. If the man cheated, that's not acceptable, but she could have gone to therapy. Or is therapy only for women who cheat? But not only that, in 15 years, you never had time to work or go back to school, or have a part-time job, even for 5 hours? You didn't have any savings. In short, you never did anything. I'm sure there's more to this story that she's not telling us because in a divorce with 5 children, plus infidelity, the woman always comes out on top.
They want her accomplishments to sort of rub off onto them. And then when they feel like they own her, they, dust off their hands and say, okay, I loved that for you. I hope you had fun. Now I need you to shift your focus towards me.
Remember, everything that men accuse us of is what they do. Every single thing they accuse us of is what they are doing or want to do or will do. And Jules just made me realize for the first time, this is another one. This is another example. How many times have we been accused, women, of trying to change a man? That's just what we do. We try to change a man. Now, I am not denying that that's true. Anybody who grew up on A Beauty and the Beast would learn from a young age that, he's a terrible human being who has a whole collection of inanimate objects that are terrified of him that he's holding hostage, who serve him. He throws tables at women, but all he needed was love. And then he's a beautiful prince again. Oh God, I still owe y'all a Beauty and the Beast video. I hate that movie. Groomed us into dating violent men. Anyway, so the point is that they have done such a good job of convincing us that we are the ones who just want to change men. We get with the man and then we try to change him. And again, it's not that that's not true, but what's even more true is that men are the ones trying to change us. Again, like I've said, if you are an independent woman who has her own money, your career is doing well, and you're loving your life, and you're living your best life, you oftentimes have a terrible dating life because you will attract men like she's talking about. I included a link in my caption. Go watch her video. So many men get off on bringing us down and changing us. And they will convince us that, rah, feminism, yay, I love an independent woman, yay, I support your career, yay. And then as soon as you get married or just something happens, you have a baby, that'll change it all. Then all of a sudden, you need to stay home. Bruce Willis did it to Demi, talked about that in a video, at the height of her career. Now all of a sudden, he wants babies and he wants her to stay home and take care of all of them. So many women have thriving careers and are so amazing at everything they do and love their life. And a man will be like, that right there, I want that to destroy it. I want that to change it. I want what she has. I want the good life.
The worst enemy of a woman is another woman. This one is a radical crazy from the purple hair movements, and she has a virulent hatred towards men, simply for existing it seems, because she got married at 40. So it's not like she has experience with men, she just hates them for denying her that experience. But let's get into her speech. She says we are selfish and want to change them, but when a woman gets pregnant, there are studies that say her maternal instinct kicks in, which is why you see so many cats with those who don't have children. There are also studies that show that when a man stays at home, the woman starts to resent him, especially if she doesn't want the responsibility of running the entire household. So how do they expect us to do it? If we support them and stay at home and become homemakers, they hate us. If we tell them to stay, they hate us. She says we see a successful woman and want what she has, so we mess with her to ruin her. We could also say the same about women who only seek successful men to take advantage of their assets because businesswomen are like single mothers. They're at the bottom of the list of women a man wants to marry in the dating market. But let's continue.
And I'm going to marry her to be associated with how amazing she is, to get that social capital that patriarchy rewards them for hitching their wagon to a badass. And then once you're theirs, uno reverso. Now it's all about me, bitch. That's what they think. That's what so many of them do. They try to change us. And they knock us up. And they make us have babies. And they say they're going to be great partners. And then they suck. And a lot of these women are married single moms. Was some of that because of their own poor decision making based on Their dad being just like that, or former trauma, or being completely lied to right out of the gate about everything that this man actually is. Or lack of education, which is one of the reasons why I make a lot of these videos, to help women see the red flags, help women to take things slow and pay attention and really understand what you're getting. And at the same time, like Jules talks about a lot, Other Mutual Lorraine talks about a lot, I'll tag both of them, the switch up. Just because you're with a man who seems okay with all your success doesn't mean he's not going to do the switch up. Because if this man has not deconstructed patriarchy at all, and if he watched his daddy do the same thing, which so many of these men did, it's his turn to be king. His turn, king baby. And you are here to support that dream. You are not going to be queen because everything in your life is going to be tied to him now. You're going to be exploited for literally everything to help him be you. He wants to be you. He's jealous of you. And now that you're hitched to him, he gets everything about you, everything you've worked for, all, the friend group, the family, all this stuff. And now he's going to get all your labor and all of your dreams. Poof. Now, I know there are plenty of abusive men who have lots of money, control women that way, but I'm telling y'all, there's just as many, if not maybe even more now, because men are so messed up. Even despite the pay inequality and all that stuff, there's so many women who are doing way better than men on their own, and then the worst thing that happens to them is dating. All their ambitions, boom. All their creative energy, all of their dreams, a gun, because this man's going to suck, turn you into his little domestic servant, the person who gives everything for the children, a man who has all these hobbies outside the home that take up all the time and the money and whatever, and you're going to take care of the kid. And all your dreams are squashed. And they have the audacity to call us the ones obsessed with changing men. I'd say most of our problems, a lot of times, giving men the benefit of the doubt, believing what they say instead of watching what they do, and hoping they will change back into the person that they promised they'd be. But in terms of literally changing somebody, I see men do that way more than women. Women may try, but men, because they have that patriarchy on their side, backing them at every turn, they're the ones who actually change their partners. And they've convinced us it's us. Everything is opposite day with men.
So what's your advice then? To let them stay alone banging against the wall? Or to get married at 45 like you? To an effeminate guy who dresses like a woman? Because if you don't want to be with a man, what's the other option? Marry a woman or buy a cat and become a cat lady? Because look, just because this man accepts your success doesn't mean he won't change. In other words, there will never be a dynamic of partnership in that relationship because the woman has to live the way she did when she was single. That's why I say women who listen to this message end up lonelier than the sun at noon. Because something she seems to overlook is that businesswomen don't seek average men. They want successful men. So what life is she being robbed of if that man is already successful? Secondly, businesswomen have the worst luck in relationships. Almost all of them end up alone. They are women who marry after 40 without children usually. So what's there to be jealous of if wealthy men prefer younger women who aren't in high-status jobs? It's not that we want to exploit them. It's that these women have become the men they wanted to marry. Every man sees it as inadequate. That's why no man desires them. And those who do, they don't like because they tend to be effeminate men. And strong women detest that. So I'll give you the same advice you're giving them. Keep banging against the wall because the wall doesn't forgive. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. Did anyone understand what the last woman's advice was? What do you think about having a modern woman versus a traditional one? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.